The Fire Within by Chris DeClancy. Chapter Squirrel in the House on page 130. "Come on," yelled David, bounding up the garden. "We've got to get him out before he does any damage." Lucy squealed, "What if Bonington gets him?" "What if he gets Bonington?" More like it. Oddly enough, that very moment Bonington was lapping water from his dish. He was so absorbed in his afternoon drink that he didn't see the squirrel run into the kitchen. Jump up on the table, hop along the counters, sniff at the fruit bowl, scramble down the ironing board, and whiz off up the hall. But a few seconds later, when David skidded in, tipping over a chair, spilling a box of cornflakes, standing in the litter box, and kicking chunky chunks across the kitchen floor, the big brown tabby did the sensible thing. He slinked into his box and stayed put. "Have you got him?" panted Lucy, winging around the door. "Up here," came a yell from somewhere near the stairs. Lucy rushed through in time to see the squirrel come scampering down the banister. "Huh!" she gasped as he leapt onto the lampshade, swung for a moment, dropped to the carpet, and bolted through her legs. "Your room," she cried. "He went into your room." David flashed past her and flung the door open wide. "Are you sure?" Everything seemed remarkably still. "There," Lucy whispered, pointing to the bookshelves. On the third shelf up sat the bushy-tailed intruder. He was eating a chocolate bar with nuts. David reached for an empty cardboard box. "Shut the door. I'm going to grab him." Lucy looked doubtful. "He's pretty quick." The tenant tapped the side of his nose. "I'll teach him to steal my chocolate." He got into his toes and stalked across the room. The squirrel wasn't impressed. At the first hint of cardboard moving toward it, it skipped off the bookshelf, bounced surefoot off the gooseneck lamp, sped across the mantelpiece, launching the space shuttle into unexpected flight, and hopped calmly onto the desk. David pursued it, slamming the box against the chimney wall, but always a bounce behind. Twice he missed it, 3 times, 4, then he reached the alcove space, and disaster. "War!" he cried, tumbling forward and ending up in a crumpled heap on the floor. The squirrel chewed the corner of David's mouse pad, then leapt into the windowsill and paused by Gadzooks. "Look!" cried Lucy. David dragged the cardboard box off his head. The squirrel was sniffing at Gadzooks, and it was surely a trick of the afternoon light, but... Did the dragon just wink at the squirrel? David batted the box away. The sudden clatter made the squirrel leap around. It flagged its tail, chirped at Gadzooks, smiled at Lucy, and shot out the window. Lucy sprinted across the room and watched the squirrel depart across the lawn. "Don't forget about Conker," she shouted. "Aw," groaned David. "Thank goodness that's over." But it wasn't, not quite. By the door a foot was tip-tap-tapping. David and Lucy looked around. "Okay," said Liz, with her arms tightly folded. "Which of you would like to start?"